Today it's gonna be a fun episode. Again, a lot going on in
Yes.
politics in general, and there seems to be this intersection of politics, culture, and just like society, right? We're gonna talk a little bit about that later on with Bad Bunny. But when it comes to Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, this all started last week with comments that he had
Yeah.
on Monday, where many people have said, and I think we can all agree that it was out of line, where he said that the killer of Charlie Kirk, well, that the president and all the supporters of Charlie Kirk were trying to paint the assassin as anything but as one of them. We now have ample evidence that no, he was not someone who was following the Magnum movement or wasn't a supporter of the Magnum movement. But then this continued to unfold, right? The FCC chairman had statements on Wednesday, which followed by Nexstar and Sinclair. As many people know, they are two of the companies that air. They have the affiliates of ABC, so they air a lot of their content. Then ABC made the announcement that Jimmy Kimmel was going to be suspended with no date of return, and it really became this battle of freedom of speech. Fast forward to yesterday, Monday, ABC announces that they're bringing
Sad.
Jimmy Kimmel back, which actually today, Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, is the return
Return.
of his program. A lot of people are going to be expected. Here's what I want to unfold with you, Carolina. Again, coming very much from your background, you've been in journalism, you've been in the newsroom, you've covered sort of these nuances of freedom of speech. I think this topic carries multiple layers, right? There's the layers of what Jimmy Kimmel said. There's the layers of what the FCC chairman said. Then there's what the fighters of freedom of speech supposedly in this conversation are saying. Then there's what the administration is saying. I want to get a very just top line reaction before we get into the weeds of some of this. What comes to mind when you think of sort of this battle around what is right and wrong in reference to Jimmy Kimmel?
Well, first, I think it's important to say that social media is driving us all crazy.
Yeah.
And nowadays, everything you say can be taken against you. So what the chairman of the FCC said at the moment, I think it was unfortunate for the situation because there was so much confusion and so many reactions. So, and the FCC, we need to understand, has an important role of protecting um, public airwaves
Mm-hmm.
in a way that you don't say bad words, you don't offend maybe children saying things that are not
Mm-hmm.
appropriate and things like that. And of course, they have some regulations regarding fairness when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to politics, specifically to politics. When you're interviewing a government official or a candidate, you need to give them equal time or certain things that
Mm-hmm.
they adjust to bring fairness to the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people need to understand that also we have private companies that even though they use public airwaves, FCC has limits of what they can control.
Mm-hmm.
And private entities have their own policies.
Yeah.
And many employees, when they are hired, they signed on those policies, but we don't think about it, or maybe we don't read it well, or we don't
Yeah.
pay
We
attention.
don't know the details in the contract per se.
Or maybe we are like, oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, nothing is going to happen. And we keep going without thinking about what we are saying or not saying. And I think I can take all this situation to myself when I was in Univision
Mm-hmm.
as a journalist for many years. I mean, newscasts, for example, they have editorial lines,
Mm-hmm.
right? They try to be objective, but they have certain things that they don't believe on or they don't want to bring to the table. And that's a reality. Let's
Mm-hmm.
be honest. And for example, working in Univision, many times I wanted to cover certain topics that they didn't agree with or they didn't like or they didn't thought they were good enough for the audience. And in some moments, I kind of felt like censored, like, oh, why we don't talk about
Mm-hmm.
this specifically, right? And then I understood, like, okay, this is a private company. Even though we're doing news and we're doing other stuff that we think might be completely open, there's editorials,
Yeah.
right? And when it comes to private companies, we need to understand it. And I think in this case, ABC released a statement, and basically they said that they thought those comments of Jimmy Kimmel were incendiary
Mm-hmm.
for the situation, and they took the decision to take him off for some time.
Yeah.
We see that now he's returning,
Mm-hmm.
and the return of this man, it's a direct message that this was a private decision.
Mhm,
That's what it
mhm.
seems like, right?
Yeah.
According to the facts, because he's coming back. Now
Correct.
we have to see what he's going to say and
That's
what his approach is going to be when he
Mhm.
comes back. They had conversations. Apparently, they made the decision after talking to him. So I hope that he will kind of like regret it.
Mhm.
But I don't think he's going to be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think it would be more like in the like something like
Lukewarm
yes,
about
but
it.
he's gonna throw some things, but
I
indirect. I
think
don't know.
I think tonight is probably going to be one of the most watched shows because there's a peak of
Absolutely.
interest of what you just said. How does he address it? I don't think he's going to flat out, like you said, apologize. I think he will address it, but it will be somewhat lukewarm. It'll be something that maybe some people will be like, okay, he addressed it. Let's move on.
And
Others
some
are
other
not going to be
is
satisfied.
absolutely it's not enough, and people are gonna criticize. But let's think about executives. I mean, if I work for ABC and I know I'm having trouble with ratings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like all the networks, it's not just ABC. It's the new world we're living in, where
Mm-hmm.
people prefer to watch a podcast
Yeah.
instead of a traditional show or newscast. Um, this is a great PR strategy as well, because
That's
think about it. Like, okay, we make the responsible decision of taking him out, like as a punishment, because we thought these comments were insensitive, and now we're bringing him back, and we're bringing back the attention to a show that didn't have much ratings. So now they're gonna get good ratings. I don't know. I'm speculating. We
yeah, at
have to
least
wait
for the
and
next
see.
few
But it's
days.
also a good strategy. Also, I know this the contract of Jimmy Kimmel, I think, is about to expire in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to see what's gonna happen after that. I mean, there's a lot going on, but the main point here is like we gotta be careful, especially officials that work with the government. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this administration specifically, that everybody talks so much, and in a world of social media where everyone is gonna take specific information and use it in their favor, accommodate it to like approve their rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, I mean, people have to be careful what they say. I mean, it's not censoring, it's just be careful. You're
it's
an
cautious.
FCC chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say that the same moment someone is saying something, it creates speculation. And let me tell you something, I don't have the evidence in front of me. Maybe he did it on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they were behind closed doors conversations
Yeah.
to put pressure. I really don't know.
And that's where it's tricky. We don't know how it would have played out otherwise, right? So I think there's a lot of people who would say there should have been some type of consequence to what Jimmy Kimmel said. That could have been a 1-day suspension, a week suspension. But the thing is, I think the order of events is what's tricky to some individuals. Ted Cruz, a Republican, a strong
criticized
supporter,
it.
he criticized the order of events. The FCC chairman, to his belief, should have not come out with the comments as strong as he did, because he says, what is the role? He cautions conservatives. What happens when the FCC begins to tener un patrón in this space, and what happens when we're not in power?